Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about Tesla opening up their supercharger network to all EVs, so that conversation is coming up. So back when the IRA Act was signed last August, there was speculation that Elon and Tesla would open up the network to other EVs because they wanted some of that funding to expand the supercharger network even more and push even harder to make it the best supercharging network on the planet. And that speculation has been going on for a while now, but recently Elon all but confirmed that basically they are going to open up the supercharger network to all EVs so they can get that funding in a tweet to President Biden. So as of now, I'm not sure if they've actually got any funding from the IRA Act, but it's pretty obvious that they are pushing really hard to expand the network in multiple areas. So if we take a look just here in California, if we look down the 5, you can tell that they are really pushing hard because a lot of the stations now have really big amounts of stalls. So basically like Harris Ranch has about 100 stalls now, Kettleman City has about 100, we've got Fireball at 56, and there's also Tejon Ranch that has about 75 stalls now. And the reason why I think there are so many stalls down the I-5 corridor now is because of anticipation for that network opening to all EVs. Recently, Tesla accidentally let slip how they're going to do this, and that's by using the Magic Dock is what it's called, and basically it's an adapter kind of for the stall for any EV to use, based on CCS1 is the charging format for all other EVs. And according to reports, they're going to test a pilot program at Hawthorne, which is basically a supercharger station that is in LA and it's literally right next to the design center where SpaceX is. And that's how they're going to do this and see if it works out. But as you can see, it's a totally different stall from the normal supercharger stall. So I'm just wondering how they're going to try and retrofit thousands upon thousands of stalls, in hopefully a short amount of time. So I would think the way they would do this is to focus on high traffic areas first, which makes sense, like I-5, and then focus on other areas later. So what I'm hoping for is with these new stations that all the new stalls have the Magic Dock, so any non-Tesla can charge at any stall. But realistically, probably what's going to happen is they're probably going to put maybe 1 or 2 Magic Dock stalls per station. That way they're in compliance so they can get that IRA funding. And then at the same time, go back to other stations like big stations and maybe retrofit 1 or 2 stalls per station to be in compliance. So nobody has this info besides Tesla, which would be nice to see. That way we can see how they're going to implement this whole thing and open up the network to non-Teslas. But if I were a betting man, Tesla's probably just going to do the minimum. So basically 1 or 2 docks per station. That way they stay in compliance. They can get the IRA money. And then also it doesn't impact current Tesla owners who are using the supercharger network and ruin their experience because basically the supercharger network is kind of like a moat for Tesla right now and nobody can compete with it. That way, all EVs can charge on the supercharging network, and again, they're in compliance. But what I'd really like to see is all these stalls on the supercharger network available to any EV, and Tesla can charge, non-Tesla owners more money, and that's good for them because then they make more money, and then everybody can use the network, and everybody's happy. And this way, the network gets more usage because as it stands right now, I'm sure for most of the day and, all the time, most of the time anyway, these stalls are just sitting there empty. And especially like down the 5, if you have 100 at one station, most of those are going to be sitting empty for most of the day. The only time this might change is holidays. And so this is probably why they've built so many stalls down the 5 for holiday travelers. And even then, this last holiday season, I didn't hear anything about Kettleman being busy or like a huge line. So that tells me that basically there's enough stalls now where basically you don't have to wait. And so, if we load on some more non-Tesla EVs, it probably won't make too much of a difference, I'm hoping. And then still everyone can use the network and everybody's happy. So what I'd like to see from them is for Tesla to implement a adapter for non-Tesla. So basically a Tesla to CCS adapter. It's pretty much the reverse of what they already have now because they've implemented a CCS to Tesla adapter. So any Tesla can charge on Electrify America or EVgo, something like that. And so for me, I'm totally all about buying an adapter. That's fine with me. I'll do that. And that way, basically, you can use any stall you want. It's probably cheaper for Tesla because they don't need to retrofit thousands and thousands of stalls. They just need to push a button to enable anybody to use the network to charge. And this way, the customers, like gonna be me soon when we get our Rivian R1S, can fight for the adapter, and that's not Tesla's problem. And then they don't have to do anything in the network, like I said, and it's easier and more cost effective for them. And honestly, when we have this R1S, I literally don't care how much it costs to charge on this Tesla Supercharger network because it's going to be a very rare occurrence for us. And I'll just pay for the convenience because it'll be a lot easier to just use the Tesla Supercharger network than trying to go to EA and, have to deal with their issues with their stalls not working and only having like 4 per station and all that stuff. So it would be very useful for me when we get this Rivian R1S in a little bit here. So anyway, that's the latest on the Tesla Supercharger network hopefully opening to all EVs. I'm hoping by the end of 2023 it'll be open here in the US, as it's already open in Europe and a lot of places for us Americans to use if you have a non-Tesla. If you're a Tesla owner or an EV owner in general, what do you think about Tesla opening up the Supercharger network? Let me know in the comments, and thanks for watching.